Hey everybody, happy Friday! Yeah, special shout out to you Americans that got out in these elections and voted, got rid of these GOP scoundrels, yeah, prevented them from screwing things up worse than they already have. Yeah, so now our work's cut out for us, folks. Those of us who are interested. Now, what's really cool, I think, is a lot of people voted probably which didn't vote in other elections. I think that's awesome. And I want to compliment all of you who did that, who got off the couch to maybe turn in a mail-in ballot or actually make the effort to show up at the polling place to vote. Okay, so you got scumbag in chief trying to get rid of mail-in voting. He ain't gonna do that here. He's not gonna do it in a lot of places that do it, and I love it because I used to go to the polling places and drop in my ballot. I'm not able to anymore. No, no, I'm a little compromised physically. So the mail-in ballot is awesome for me, and it's really convenient for most of us. You don't have to tell anybody how you voted, who you voted for, whatever. Please do it. It works. Look what's happening. Now, here's the problem. We got a couple of things that we can solve here. One of them is let's get out and vote. Let's keep these people from getting in office and ruining it for the rest of us. Now, in red states where they're going to gerrymander it the wrong way, this is where you guys really need to go out and vote, especially what they're doing, with the gerrymandering, trying to push out, our minority populations by doing it. That means you folks, you white folks who are I hate using the term because there is no race. It doesn't exist. That's all bullshit that was put in for social convention, and for Jim Crow type crap and previous to Reconstruction, which really didn't work too well, as you know if you read history. At any rate, get out and vote, white folks. Y'all get out there and vote. You know what's happening. Okay, so what's happening is the economy, it doesn't look so bad for a lot of us, who got a good job, who make enough money to buy stuff regardless of the price increases, who may have our mortgages that are affordable, who may be in rent control, paying affordable rent. Okay, those of us who are like that, we're not too worried, right? Like me, I have no mortgage payment anymore. I just pay taxes, insurance, and utilities, and that's a lot less of a burden. I could survive on my Social Security income if I wanted to, but I like to work and I like to make the extra money because, as you can see, hanging on the wall, my lifestyle might be a little extravagant for a lot of average folks. At any rate, everybody's got to get out and vote because we got to vote these guys out. That's the secret to all this. That way you don't have SNAP. Look at this crap with SNAP getting cut. Now, do you really care if there's a few indigent people out there who are capable of working and making a good living working and being able to afford food and rent and all the necessary need expenses? Yeah, okay. But you know what? I don't care if they're getting food stamps. I really don't care. And by the way the food stamp allocation has gone down over the last several years. Now, I don't get them because I don't need them. If I needed them, I could get them maybe. Okay, that allocation's gone way, way down. So would you rather pay a grifting defense contractor out of your tax dollar, or would you rather pay so people could eat? Tell me, would you rather pay out of your tax dollar for more affordable health insurance, or would you rather like to see your premium go up? Yeah, because they're going to do away with the ACA. Oh, Obamacare? I never liked that name. I always thought that was a racial slur. But here's the thing. These guys have had years and years and years. They've had since 2008, or when would it come in? 2009, somewhere in there. They've had that long to come up with a better, more affordable system for most of the country. They haven't done it. So it's up to us. Now, Democrats, okay, I know people don't like you, okay? You got what, about an 18%? Well, I think it jumped to 27% approval rating in Congress. Ouch, okay, for Democrats. Okay, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not independent. I'm not a Republican. I am part of the Democratic Party in that I'm DSA. Now, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so all you guys, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care what party you're in. I don't care that you voted for Trump last time. I mean, I want to shame you and guilt you for it, but that won't do any good. I'd rather welcome you to knowing what the facts are and how we can fix this situation. How we got to fix it. The Dems have to sweep Senate and House so they can block this bastard, so they can override his vetoes, because those will be coming once we get in there and we start doing stuff. And then what happens if stuff doesn't pass that we're promising to do about affordability? I mean, Democrats, you're going to blame the Democrats and you're going to vote in the Republicans again, who are going to bend you over diddy-wise with no baby oil. Yeah. Get into it, folks. This is what we got to do. It's really simple. The whole issue is about affordability. It's always been about affordability. And when we're funding wars, maintaining 700 military bases plus around the world for no good reason other than defending corporate business interests that should be divested and given to the local people where their companies are located. Oh, you don't like that because that's socialism. Well, folks, there's two types of socialism. There's state socialism, and then there's socialism for the people. I'm not with state socialism. Everybody hates it. Everybody wants to call it communism, where it's not. What I'm for is more public ownership by the people in their local communities. Okay, that's the kind of socialism I like. Now, you can't do it with all the businesses. You got to do it with the big guys who screw us, who monopolize, who become oligarchies. That's the folks we have to do that with, and we need to do it right away so we can seize their assets and put them back into the community where they belong. Yeah. Now, this tariff money that's out there in the Treasury, that needs to come back not to the companies, to the consumers. Those need to be checks going out to the consumers. Now, I wouldn't mind if it all went to lower middle class and below economic level. I'd be real happy if that's the way those rebate checks went. And they should go to that. And they should help fund this knucklehead bullshit with the SNAP benefits. Now, a federal judge ordered that all the benefits have to be paid and covered. Well, and you know who is going to oppose that. He said, "Oh, we'll pay half my ass." And then the son of a bitch gets on. God, I hate this guy. I'm sorry. I do hate him. I've always hated him. I've hated him since I learned. I read The Art of the Deal way back in the 80s, okay? And I thought this was great because he used OP's money to fund a business project. Okay, I was more pro-capitalist then. I had drifted away from my original leftist roots. Okay, I regret that because this allowed pieces of shit like this cretin to get in there and screw things up. And he's screwing things up. He wants to screw people who don't have the money. He wants to screw people who can't work. He wants to screw people who don't want to work because it doesn't help them. Now, look, if you go out and work for minimum wage and your expenses, I mean bare expenses, far exceed what you take home every week or 2 weeks or every month, then something's wrong. And what's wrong is who you're working for is not sharing the profits with you as labor costs. No, they're not. And they're all relying on the profit from surplus and things like that. Okay, so that's about as far as my Marxism goes. But I will tell you this, we need to stop this shit. And the way we stop it is we break up the oligarchs, we break up the monopolies, we put the money that they make with the companies back in the hands of the people. Whether it goes to small companies that pay people a fair wage for working for them, or whether it goes to public ownership, which have to be, now here it is, you guys, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. We have to have citizen committees to oversee all this. I don't mean elected representative, I mean citizen committees that the citizens vote in to oversee this, and they need to keep constant oversight on it, and that membership needs to fluctuate. Got it? Okay, got it. Okay, now I'm going to run over the 10 minutes for TikTok here a little bit. Now, I've explained what model of socialism I favor. It is the worker co-op model, which doesn't work for all businesses. There's a lot of sole proprietors out there. There's a lot of individual businesses and partnerships out there, small S-corps and people like that. I'm not talking about them. I want them to stay intact, and I want people to be able to create an entrepreneurial business, right? Okay. However, if that business starts getting really big, if it's starting getting over a number of employees, then maybe it's time for those owners, if they've reaped enough profits, according to, whatever, to divest that business to employee ownership. Oh, they're not going to want to do that, most of them, because they want to keep their, okay, whatever. Okay, so there's the solutions right there. And the solution to start this off, to get it going, is what you guys did this last Tuesday. You voted people out and voted people in. Yes, you've done a great job. And I want to thank everybody who voted in those elections. Now, we had a prop election here that I voted in, okay? And, of course, I voted for the props, right? Because I believe in public funding of a lot of stuff. And I also believe that, these businesses that are making all these profits, they need to share a little bit. It's like what Mamdani wants to do. He wants to charge corporate taxes at a greater rate, and he wants that 2% tax. Yeah, that's kind of like what Elizabeth Warren proposed way back. Well, that needs to happen. So there's the big threat. Well, they're going to move. They're going to leave. Well, look at what, where are they going to go? Texas? Look at what Abbott wants to do. He wants to charge them 100% tariff if they move from New York into Texas. That's funny. Yeah, that's really funny. And the shit's hitting the fan for some businesses down there in Texas, right? Now, they don't pay individual state income tax, the businesses. The businesses, they just pay sales tax, right? And they've all been tariffed, and the tariffs have been passed on to their customers. Don't let these fucking businesses fool you. They charge you by upgrading, uploading, increasing their costs, their price to you. And that's the real tariff thing. So all that tariff money that the U.S. Treasury has been collecting, that needs to come back to us, the consumers. Now, it needs to come back to folks that are a lower income and lower middle income, in my opinion. That's what I think needs to happen. And I look forward to that possibly happening. At any rate, I appreciate what y'all did. The handwriting's on the wall, what we need to do. And here's another thing, too. So the other day I'm watching TY Tweet. I really like Anna most of the time, and I like Jake most of the time. Okay, I like them. And I really like John Itarola. I think he's great. Now, here's the problem. Anna goes and she interviews that no good libertarian piece of shit bastard. Now, he has a great website, antiwar.com. But then he brings up von Mises. I call him von Mises. He brings up that guy and the hard money economic model, which is thievery. It doesn't work. It doesn't do anything for the public. And this is where the libertarian model fails. It fails economically. Okay? Now, there's some good shit. Don't fund a great big military to go out there and conquer the world. That's good shit. Have open borders. Well, some people hate it and some people like it. Okay, I'm more for it than against it, and I'm also for putting in thousands of new judges, immigration judges that help people become citizens or give them visas quickly without them having to spend $30,000 apiece. I go for that. Okay, and that's where he and I differ on all this shit. You see, they don't want any taxes. No, well, maybe a little tax to or some kind of public referendum to pay for, police and fire and essential public services, right? Okay, but otherwise, their monetary theory blows. It's outdated, outmoded, and it doesn't work. And this is where, now, you guys are going to hate me. Some of you guys are going to hate me for this. I want you to look up your Marxist economists. Now, Richard Wolff is one of them, and he claims that Keynes, which our current system was loosely still based on, was a Marxist economist. There's also Michael Hudson, who's another great Marxist economist. And these guys both, Wolff has been in academia, and Hudson served in the Reagan administration in the U.S. Treasury. Yeah. So I want you guys to, be aware that this is a better way to operate the economy. Okay. And if you want to read Capital 3, Volume 3, and see what Marx is saying about that, great. It doesn't make you a Marxist. I'm not a Marxist, okay? I'm just as much a capitalist as I am a socialist, okay? So, and right now we need a mix. But when Anna gets on there and interviews this guy and okey dokes the son of a bitch, now I know she disagrees with him on a bunch of shit, especially if she should debate him about his economics. Now, the antiwar.com, great website, great information. I have also always used Brown University's website, which deals with the wars and the casualties of war and the cost of war. That's been very helpful as well. And he probably cites it too. But I don't like him. I don't like the libertarian. I was a libertarian when it first started. Yeah, I was. Until a bunch of these reckless nuts, like this Bo Greitz son of a bitch, and people like that got involved, right? And these guys were paramilitary idiots. Once they got involved, and then my old Sam Steiger here in Arizona got involved, I got out. It wasn't for me anymore, and that's when I became a founding member of the Arizona Green Party, which I would still belong to if we hadn't become completely impotent. We don't have any political Viagra. We don't have any political Cialis. We don't have it. So, and really the Green Party is my opinion, is the best platform. Now I'm DSA. I hope more of you look into DSA and see the attraction there and help us out, because it is about populism. Now, when people like MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, start puking out populist stuff, okay, that's great to get them involved when we need some help, bipartisan help in a vote. It doesn't help, though. I don't want her to be our president, because most of her policies and thinking are still wrong. She is wrong. And I'm totally against not having foreign aid. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm for it. I think if we cut the Defense Department by about 60%, we'll have enough money to take care of our people, and we'll still have enough money for things like USAID, which got destroyed by that scumbag, that dirty, no-good scumbag Muskrat. Okay, so the Muskrat got his $1 trillion salary. How do you like that? Do you like that? Huh? Yeah? Are you going to be paying for some of that, buying his shit? Come on. I'm not going to buy his shit. No, I don't buy his shit. No. The only thing is I've got a guitar that's got pickups on it that say Tesla. Ha, 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 ha. I love the guitar. I wonder if he got any money out of those pickups. Anyway, that's enough out of me for Friday. I want you all to have a great weekend and have as much fun as you can, and find things that are affordable. And let's keep pushing on affordability. But beware of the populists who are wolves in sheep's clothing. Beware of them, because while they carry that conservative fiscal message to a certain extent, they are not really for us, and they don't really carry the weight. No, they're not going to help you, okay? And they're against immigration, mostly. Like, she's against immigration, okay? I'm for immigration. We need to have, like I said, thousands of new immigration judges and help, so it doesn't cost a guy $30,000 to get a damn green card. Anyway, have a great weekend. Let's have fun. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep pushing. Keep pushing, everybody. You've done a great job, and I really appreciate you.